travel to San Antonio usually want to visit the Alamo and then maybe take a boat ride along the Riverwalk. The downtown area helps to draw some 20 million visitors to town each year. Tourism's economic impact on the nation's 7th largest city is $11 billion. While San Antonio is certainly drawing big tourism numbers each and every year, there's also something else that it's a magnet for, the homeless. But city leaders believe they have partially solved that big problem. The answer lies here at Haven for Hope, a 37-acre, $100 million homeless facility billed as the largest facility of its kind in the entire country. It opened in 2010 and offers everything from medical care to job training. It's a one-stop shop where the homeless can start to turn their lives around.
Had Haven for Hope not opened, I would be living a life of misery, addicted to methamphetamines, living on the streets of San Antonio.
Samuel Lott says he'd been on a downward spiral after losing his contracting job with the railroad. He began to drink heavily and do drugs. He was down and out and knew he needed help, and that's when he found out about this place.
Lay your hand on me. I got a lot of my life back, and it's not getting my life back. I got a new life. That's what's starting to happen here.
Now, Lott works at Haven for Hope, sharing his experience with those who are trying to straighten out their own lives.
I think something like this can be tried in any city. And what's great about Haven for Hope and the whole model that we have here is that it's scalable. You may not need something this extensive in Corpus Christi. Maybe you just need some of the pieces of it. This has been replicated in some other cities around the country.
San Antonio has about 13,000 homeless on its streets. Corpus Christi around 3,000. Our city leaders say that number is high enough to consider building something like Haven for Hope here.
It's something we should look at and hope that someday, long range, we could do something like this.
Of course, on a much smaller scale, an idea that is being considered because so many of the homeless are ending up drunk or on drugs. They're constantly in and out of jail, a revolving door that takes officers off the street and forces the city to pay to jail the homeless.
I'm gonna tell you something, I'm not gonna put up with that anymore, you got it?
Dan Freeman is demonstrating to his homeless students at Haven for Hope the wrong way to deal with someone. He teaches anger management classes here. Freeman believes he is making a difference.
I see a turn in about 3 weeks. They're beginning to look at life differently, looking at themselves differently, being able to control their anger, being able to now honestly believe that there's a purpose and reason for their life.
We found many residents working on getting some job skills. Construction is a popular course, as is the culinary school. It's run by the San Antonio Food Bank, one of the 78 nonprofit and government agencies which have joined forces in the Alamo City to reclaim the downtown streets.
And just in our first, I think, not even year of operation, there was a 76% reduction in downtown homelessness. So it's made a huge difference to the downtown community, for the local businesses, for the tourists.
It's also making a difference in the life of Bill Filipponi. He's a homeless man from Corpus Christi. He came up to San Antonio because he heard that this was the place to go if he wanted to change.
You think it would work in Corpus Christi? Why or why not?
I think it would work in Corpus because there's really not much there, not much opportunity for them to learn anything. You go to the workforce, look at the computer, well, that's about it. But if they can learn something, have a facility where they go and actually learn something, learn a trade, that's well needed down there.
Filipponi stays on this side of the homeless campus in an area known as the Prospects Courtyard. This is where street people can go to get a good night's sleep, along with hot meals and medical care. The hope is they'll eventually decide to become an actual resident here and get the help they really need. Samuel Lott warns, though, that this is not the place to come for a handout.
I don't get to milk the system for very long here. None of us do. What we need to happen to us happens to us in a place like Haven for Hope. And there are people that hold us accountable.
A social experiment that could be the long-term solution to the homeless problem for downtown San Antonio. Samuel Lott says it's already worked for him, a Haven for Hope that saved his life. Michael Gibson, 3 News.